today we're gonna make a pie crust again. I know I've made this before, but I'm pretty sure there are new people here who haven't seen it, so I decided I'd make it again and share it with you guys. We start off by putting our flour in a bowl, and I always use pastry flour. You probably saw that in the last video too. I get this one on Amazon. Once you have the flour in there, we're also gonna add some salt, and then we're also gonna add lard. And go in with one hand and knead that lard and the flour and the salt together until it's crumbly. This was probably something that was among the first things I learned to make, and my mom taught me how to roll the pie crust out. Once it's all crumbly, we're gonna set it aside, and then we're gonna get another bowl, a little one, and you should do this before you do this so you don't have to wash your hand. So I'm gonna try and do this one-handed. Crack an egg, put it in the bowl, and then we're gonna add water and a little bit of white vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar, but I do not recommend it because of the taste. And we're gonna take our egg beater and beat that up until it's a little bit foamy. Then pour that into your crumbs and just use your hand and knead it in there. Now it seems like I added either not enough water or too much flour because it's a little bit stiff. So if that happens, just add a little bit more flour and keep kneading it. And if it's too wet, you can add a little bit more flour and keep kneading it. It should have a consistency kind of like this, where it's just a little bit sticky but doesn't stick to your fingers. And one batch of this is enough for 3 regular sized pie crusts. The rule for me kind of is 1 cup of flour equals 1 pie crust. And now we're gonna roll this pie crust out. I always just sprinkle my surface with flour, sprinkle some flour over the top, and also flour your pie pan. Then just roll it out like you would any other pie crust. I don't know if you're used to rolling out pie crust or not. I always flip it over, gather some more flour, do that a couple times so it doesn't stick to my surface. Once you have it roll out to your desired thickness, it's ready to pick it up and put it in your pie crust. You just saw how I did that. That is how my mom taught me to do it. And press it into your pie crust and make sure there are no air bubbles. And now you can use this for a regular pie crust, or you can cut the edges off and you're going to use it for a baked crust instead of an unbaked one. If you do want to use it for a baked crust, just follow the instructions in your pie recipe. And we're gonna pinch the edges of this crust. This is how my mom taught me to do it. I know some people do it different. And then I have this little vinegar chuck cap. You can get it on eBay, and I'm going to press this down to make holes in it so the air bubbles can get out, and you can also just use a fork to do this. And now it's all ready to go bake it. It does not take long to bake this, and I always just bake it till it slides loosely around in the pan and it's kind of light brown. I just pulled this thing out of the oven. It slides around. If you know what I mean now, that means it's done, and it's also a little brown. You can make it darker if you want, but I like mine just light brown. I always let it cool off before I use it. It's really easy to make. It is almost impossible to ruin it. Enjoy it and have fun.